Hello Health Seeker, it's Rich here, the quick liberated lifestyle message. So just finished up a busy Monday morning of adjusting, and something stood out in my mind. It's a principle I want to highlight here, and it's really the main reason why I'm so passionate about chiropractic. And I'm passionate about all things to do with health, but what I find is most people understand the basic principles behind nutrition, behind exercise, behind stress reduction. We all know when we're doing those things wrong, right? You eat the wrong kind of foods and you put on weight and you get lethargic. Your hormones might go off, etc., etc. If you don't exercise, well, you become deconditioned, you become weak, you might put on weight as well, and basically start puffing and panting when you just run for the bus. If you don't handle your stress, well, guess what? You become anxious, depressed, you don't sleep at night, you get tired, you get fractious, you get irritable. So most people are aware of the consequences of when they don't do things right in those three areas, and they are all each critically important spokes on the wheel of health. But by far and away the most overlooked area in health is structural health care. Now, not a lot of people understand what goes wrong in the body and how this shows up when it goes wrong. So the most obvious way that we know there's a problem is when we get a pain. But most people don't realize that there's this whole build-up of issue beneath the surface that led to them getting the pain. And it's a really interesting concept to explore, and I think it's something that the world needs to know more about, because it's the fourth key spoke on the wheel of health. It's great having nutrition and exercise and stress handled, but if you don't have the fourth spoke there, if you don't have a strong, robust structure, then you're not well-rounded and you're not healthy by definition. So this is such an important area, and like I said, so poorly understood. So the basic thing that happens when your structure goes wrong is it starts to fall forward and it twists. And by your structure, I mean everything from your head, your jaw, your spine, your pelvis, your arms and your legs. It's all interconnected. It's all part of the same working system. So as it falls forward and it twists, it becomes tighter. And as this process continues, you basically become less able to do the things that you're able to do before. Your body becomes less robust, less able to adapt. And if you could choose a term that really defined health well, it'd probably be your ability to adapt, or adaptability. So the more adaptable you are, basically the healthier you are, the more you can absorb stress, because the better balanced you are beneath the surface, the more resilience you have to absorb poor choices. So as your structure becomes more twisted and tighter, little things that you used to be able to do before, like spend an entire day in the garden, or bend and lift and twist, or go on a long car journey, or ride your bike, or play a game of tennis, these things then now have the capacity to cause significant frustration and pain and irritation to your life, because your body is unable to handle that input. As it falls forward, as it twists, it becomes weaker, and your body can only compensate like this for so long, and before you know it, you end up with a very fragile system. This is one of the reasons why once people get in their 60s, 70s and 80s, it's not uncommon to see progressively declining amounts of maneuverability and mobility amongst people. Lives can become severely handicapped. It just becomes a gentle shuffle to the shops and back. The rest of the day just spent inactive, mostly because people realize that they can't do much more than that without paying a price. So this is one of the greatest indicators as to how healthy your structure is your level of adaptability. Can you spend a day in the garden? Can you go and kick the football around? Can you go to the gym and lift weights? Can you play a game of tennis? Can you go for a swim? Can you ride on the bike without your body letting you know about it the next day? And here's the curious thing. It becomes a disincentive to get out and do things when you know you can't achieve them. So it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, unfortunately. The more locked forward and twisted your structure gets, the less able you are to do something about it. And this is why chiropractic has such a critical role to play in the healthcare system, because you can't stretch that away. You can't exercise that dysfunction away. Your structure literally has misalignment and tension in it that you can't self-correct. You need someone who knows what they're doing to help you put that on the straight and narrow. No pun intended. So one of the ways you can tell how adaptable you are and how healthy your structure is just to put it to the test. I mean, are you able to do the things you're able to do 10 years ago, or are you now paying a heavy price for it? And one of the ways this will show up in your body is if you stand up, breathe in, breathe out, and if your posture collapses forward, and if you look on your family photographs, do you see the head forward? Do you see the shoulders unlevel and twisted? And can you actually physically feel your body falling forward as you breathe out? So these are some of the most important indicators as to how well you're doing in your structure. And if you're honest about them, if you see that they're not quite there, well, now's the time to do something about it. Don't sit and wait. Get yourself to see a chiropractor. This is such a critical area of health. You owe it to yourself to get it handled. Thanks for listening.